Hey, Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Kakwadash, and double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And I want to say peace and salutations. Just like I had my hat on. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. All right. And this is gonna be a quick lesson, man. I'm gonna go into a dream that I had, a pretty spiritual dream that I had. It was a vivid dream, you know. Uh, that I had a couple days ago. Not too profound, but you know, not it was pretty spiritual. Nothing major. But it was real vivid, and it had to do with this truth, man. And I could. It's obvious that it was sent from Yahweh Shemiel Shai. You know, but but at the time, I knew it was spiritual, but I didn't know, specifically what it was about, and I knew it was sent from Yahweh Shemiel Shai, so I didn't want to do a lesson over it quite yet, but I'll just now get into it because, I meditated over it. I've been meditating over the dream, and I'm watching edifying videos, of the men of Great Millstone, okay? The true men of Yahweh Shemiel Shai, all right? Men of Great Millstone on down, all right? And and I'm gonna start with the dream. You know, I was already dreaming, before the spiritual things started happening in the dream. Um, but I just recently just got out of my car. This is the dream. In my dream, I just recently got out of my car. I think I forgot. I went to get something or speak to somebody or do something. Go to the grocery store or something. I don't even remember, man. You know, you know how dreams are. And once I came back, I seen somebody in my car. I'm like, oh shoot. You know, of course I didn't lock my door. You know, you know, you know. So let's see what's gonna happen now. And once I got closer to my car, I noticed it was a homeless, southern, light skin, ruddy hair, woolly hair, ruddy, brownish red, Southern Kingdom light skinned Jake, Israelite. All right. He was a homeless man. He was homeless. You know how homeless people are. Did you just they got no filter, or not filter, but they just they just sleep anywhere. They sleep right by the highway, on the highway. Take a nap on the highway, or hop in somebody's house and you know just forget that that they're in somebody's house and act like it's their house without them even knowing, because they're out of their mind. And I'm like, oh, I'm about to tell this Jake off, man. I was about to raise my voice, cause hell, tell him to get the f out of my car, you know. Um, but once I entered my car, it's like, yeah, I just got home back from the plantation. Give me a moment. I gotta open my garage. Fuck you. But once I jumped in the car, let me see. Hope it's not connected. Okay, yeah, once I jumped in the car, the spirit came on me, and I just started, decided to take things peaceably, all right, and not caught, anything, rise, make a scene, for lack of better terms, rise, uh, Sakya, it's right on the tip of my tongue, but cause conflict, you know, you know, instead of taking things, in my own hands, once I hopped in my car and I looked back, as I'm doing right now, look back, he's on the passenger back seat, just chilling, I looked at him, I said, I'm like, hey man, I forgot specifically what I said to him, man, you know, but I said something, like, hey man, I think this is what I said, but I started talking to him, telling him, hey, this is my car, what you doing here, man? Like, I'd like you to get out of my car, please, and he was, and he said, he wasn't really startled at all, man. He had a straight face, it wasn't, you know, he didn't have that insane look that Jakes do, when they're strung out on drugs or, you know, homeless, no, he had a straight, normal, sober face, man. And he had a lawful, countenance about him, on him, you know. He didn't have no edge up or line up. He didn't have no baldness. He had a full beard. It wasn't real thick, but he had a full, scruffy little beard, you know, he, you know, he had a white T-shirt on, and it had the Lord's name, Yahweh, in the Tetragrammaton, on his T-shirt. I'm like, oh, you know, and we started speaking about, the truth, and for some odd reason, he just knew that I followed, Gray Millstone, the man of GMS, and you know um, he said, but in the end, the GMS, that they're not gonna. How do you say? He said something. He said GMS, that they're not gonna make it or something like that. You know, you know, some, in those words, man. It's like GMS isn't gonna make it. And I'm like, oh, this is probably an IUIC, Jake or another, a bugged out Jake or something like that. And instead of me, scoffing, not scoffing, but rebuking him, harshly, I was like, you know, I'm like, because I know damn and well, how do you say it? You know, I know for sure the men of Great Millstone on down are the true men, and the elect. They got the 100% truth. Without a shadow of a doubt. Even in my dream, and uh, a random Jake couldn't, you know, um, sway me from believing, the true gospel coming out of the men of Great Millstone on down. Because you know how you know how in your dream, you think different or you do certain things in your dream that once you wake up, you're like, well, why the hell was I doing that, or why didn't I do this or say that or think about this in my dream, But in my dream, I knew this Jake was going off, saying that, and but instead of me, rebuking him harshly, I was like, but I said to him, but GMS, you know, um, they got the victory in Yahweh Shai, we win Yahweh Shai, you know, when Yahweh Shai returns, um, the Lord, uh, we're gonna be victorious, we got the W, man. All right, when Yahushua returns, for a lack of better terms, you know, you know, because like I think it was before I went to sleep that night, I was just meditating, that scripture, you know, kept popping up in my head, win Yahushua, you know, but we win in Yahushua, that's our victory because Yahushua, he already won for us. He beat death, he beat wickedness, all right? Or he came and fulfilled, man, all, everything, man, for us, and through Yahushua, we win, all right? And and then my dream started getting, it starts to get even more harder to explain, but it stays spiritual, Um, but had he said like I started, the dream started, it panned out, or it switched scenes to me jumping down a little hill like this, you know, me facing, me on top of the hill, hopping down, you know, to get to a certain destination. For some reason, I don't know, you know, turn the brightness up, it's lucky, you know, and there was a lot of shrubbery and thick shrubs, dry weeds. Those weeds where you rub against them and they're kind of spiny and poke. They'll poke you. And they'll give you a little rash or they hurt or they make you itchy. Like this, man, or like this. It was like I was on top of a little hill. And there was shrubbery everywhere. The shrubbery started right when you jump off, right when I jumped off the hill, hopped. I didn't jump off, I hopped off the hill, trying to get to a destination for some reason, you know, and there's a whole bunch of. It was in the midst of the summer, those big old fat carpenter bees, those horse flies, those bugs, you know, those bumblebees, you know. I felt all that in my dream. I felt them stinging me. It wasn't a whole bunch. They weren't like swarming me, but something, they stung me, a couple stung me and bit me, in the shrubbery, I was wearing shorts and it agitated my legs, it scratched my legs and whatnot, I got some, some stuff in my shoe, in my dream. And then the dream changed scenes again back into the car. And this time there was like two dark skinned Southern Kingdom Jakes, right behind me in the driver's side um, seat, man, with the uh, with the same homeless Jake, Southern Kingdom Jake, but they were darker skinned in their Southern Kingdom, and they had uh, they had little T-shirts on with the same thing, um, the Lord's name in the Tetragrammaton, and they were the, they were saying childish things, acting like children, I was speaking to them, I don't remember what I was saying to them in the dream. I don't remember specifically what they were saying either to me in the dream. And then the dream changed scenes back again to me jumping down a hill, you know, with the same shrubbery. It just, you know, and it kept going over and over again, like at least two or three times. Kept feeling, bugs biting me, the weeds scratching the hell out of me, and but I didn't take no thought to it. I was trying to jump, but also I was trying to jump. You know, I wasn't trying to jump on the weeds or the shrubs. I was trying to avoid it. So I don't like hurt myself. But for some reason I was I had a destination to be at in the dream. You know, and you know you know when I woke up from the dream, I'm like, what was that all about? But then using your spiritual mind, your mind's eye. my mind's eye, I was like, oh, that Jake in the back seat, represents, the 2/3 of Jake, or just Jake in general, you know, that that's got the truth, but they don't got the full truth, you know, they're seduced by these false prophets, you know, their mind is fully set on a different doctrine, you know. They may believe in the true name, or they might have like 90% of the truth, but they don't got the full 100% truth, you know. And how do you say it? How do you say it? And me, changing, when the dream changed scenes to me jumping down off a little hill, to down a path, you know, with this agitating, environment, you know, with bugs, and it's hot, you know, uh, you know, that represents, the light affliction that we got to go through, man. Dealing with our people vexing us, you know, and not knowing the truth, saying we're false prophets, saying y'all don't got the true name, just all this madness, all this foolery, and us dealing with the foolishness of wicked 2/3 Jake, man. You know, being too deep, you know, and not one deep, um, just being extra, man. You know, telling us we're false prophets when they're the actual false prophets. Spewing madness, stuff like that. You know, and me being fully set in my mind, you know, and having to deal with, and having us, us in general, the men of Great Mill. I'm not part of the Great Millstone, but I follow after them. But the Lord's men, you know, having to deal with that, that's what that jumping down from the that little hill of all these harsh, weeds and bugs and all that. That's what that represents, man. And not avoiding it, and not being swayed, being like, oh, let me take a different path, or let me actually let me get along to get along. How do you say it? Go along to get along, spirit, but the men of the Lord actually, going through it, and dealing, with this madness, catching hell, putting our bodies down, as a living sacrifice for Yahweh Shemi Shai, through the foolishness of preaching, man. Being those men of Yahweh Shemi Shai, the men of valor. The scriptures tell us to be men. For lack of better terms, man. You know, and you know, the Southern Kingdom child in the back, just represents, the childish nature of our people, man. Of the majority of our people, man. You know, you know, foolishness ruleth in the minds of children. Roughly paraphrasing that scripture, man. You know, so yeah, man. And the Lord compares our people, the wicked 2/3 of our people, that don't hearken unto His wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He compares our people to, he just calls our people straight up, sottish children. Sottish means stupid. You know, our people they're literally, sottish. They're stupid people, man. And even the Lord's true prophets, they were stupid at once. Believing in in the ways, in the ways of this world. And false teachings, and wickedness. You know, we were all stupid at once, man. Even me. I'm not more righteous than the next man. You know. We were all going off. We were all committing wickedness. We were all, in those simple minds, man. But the Lord changed us, man. So I'm losing air up in here, but yeah, man. I'm gonna leave it at that. I pray that this was, uh, an edifying lesson. Just going into my dream. You know, not nothing profound or anything like that. It was just, something that that I just had to get off my chest. I pray that this was edifying to the whole full. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Kakwadash, DTA, Abba Ball. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom.